Okay. Now the flood was needed. The flood was needed to set this whole thing up. The end. Okay. Before the flood, the earth was level. You know, it was a round ball, just a level. There was no mountains. There was no oceans or anything like that. Most of the water was above the earth in the form of ice crystals, and that protected the earth from the sun rays. So everything was lush. It was a lush garden, and it was a whole different world back then. Then when the flood, before that, the crust contained a whole bunch of heat vents, just cracks in the earth where the water, there was water filled them, and it's where heat came out. And this heat, of course, kept a perfect condition all around the earth. So there was no north or south pole, polar ice. It was all warm, hot, heat, nice warm weather. And so you could live nude. You didn't need clothes. So that was the conditions before the flood. And these cracks in the earth, heat vents I call them, they were needed to keep the pressure even in the mantle underneath the crust. Otherwise, that mantle would get pressure on it and eventually blow. So the cracks were needed. So that's what happened during the flood, is that most of those cracks were covered up. A majority of them. There's still plenty around the earth, and there's a lot of them like in Yellowstone. California's got them. Through the Rocky Mountain, there's many places where they got the heat vents. You can find them here in Asia and different mountains in Europe, stuff like that. So they do have them around, but not enough. So what happened was, if there's not enough, you don't have enough heat coming out, and you're building up heat inside, what's going to happen is there's going to build a pressure. The mantle becomes condensed, more condensed all the time, because of the lava inside is adding to it, but it just keeps condensing. It keeps getting more pressure on it, and it's like a time bomb. And so over all these years since the flood, this pressure has to be released. It's going to get to the point where it has to blow up. Now it's not going to be like a bomb, a little small bomb that we know of, but it's a huge bomb underneath the crust, gigantic, and so it's going to act slowly, just release slowly, okay? Especially in the beginning, because whenever you have something really condensed like that, just the top layer like peels away, okay, slowly. And I describe it as like a shaving can, the foam out of a shaving can, the stuff inside, that when you get halfway in, it really starts coming out. Well, it's hard to describe. I don't know how to describe that, really, to tell you the truth. But the more room there is in between the condensed stuff and underneath the crust, the rock, the more room you have there, the more it's going to be able to expand. So the part of the mantle will be able to expand more rapidly, and over time it'll come faster and faster and faster and faster, and soon the lava flow will be just pouring out of the earth, and more cracks. You're going to have more vibration. You're going to have a lot more deeper cracks, more lava coming out. It's going to melt all the rock as it comes out, between the cracks. So it's over time, who knows, so it could be thousands of years. It could be 2,000 or 3,000 years this melting of the earth goes on. You know, one day to God is, you know, the words in the Bible are so, they're figurative speech, symbolic. You really don't know the true time. God wanted it that way. Doesn't make any difference when we're all dead, does it? That one day could last 1,000,000 years. What difference does it make? Nothing. Makes no difference. But it's going to melt. All the crust is going to melt, and it's going to end up to be like a ball of fire like the sun. Not as bright, of course, but just flowing lava. Hot, flowing lava. And it's going to stay that way until all the pressure is released from the mantle. Okay? It has to. It has to be released. It has to go back to normal. And so this will continue on through this whole process. Everything we see today is melted into that hot lava. Us, the flesh, everything we've built, you know, trees, the mountains, the ocean, all the water will evaporate, of course, with all that high heat. That's thousands of degrees. That hot lava could be even hotter when the stuff in the mantle. They don't know how hot it is inside there. Could be 4,000 or 5,000 degree temperatures in there. Just melt rock in an instant. So nothing's going to survive. Nothing. We're all going to melt into this thing, this lava, and well, we're going to be with God. Everything, His whole creation, will be saved within His image, within His thoughts, and we'll stay there through this whole process of the melting. And then after it gets done melting, all the water is going to be evaporated out to the outer limits of our atmosphere, to where the, you know, where it can't escape the you know, gravity. Sorry, it won't escape the gravity. It can't. So it'll stay out to the outer edge. But out there, it's frozen. I mean, that's cold air. So it'll stay out there, and then eventually the pressure will be released, and the lava will start cooling down again. Okay, all that moisture above will help cool it down, and you know, it'll start hardening up, but it'll be level this time. No mountains, no oceans, just a lot of, you know, a lot of potholes, a lot of cracks. Now we're gonna have lots of heat vents, a whole lot of them. That'll be there when it dries, you know, gets hard, and well, the conditions will be like similar to the beginning, when Earth was first formed. And from there, we have to wait. We have to wait until the conditions get right to move, you know, to live on this new Earth. Okay, I'll go to the next tape.